Doritos, the crunchy, cheesy snack that's become an icon of American snacking culture. Every year, thousands of tons of Doritos are consumed worldwide, enough to fill hundreds of stadiums. And to keep up with that pace, Frito-Lay runs plants that can produce 300,000 bags a day. In just 15 minutes, an ordinary corn kernel transforms into an irresistibly crunchy, cheese-dusted snack everyone craves. Today, we're heading into the heart of the Doritos factory, where flavor, technology, and speed combine to create a legendary snack. Unlike most potato-based snacks, Doritos start with corn. In the US, Frito-Lay sources golden corn from vast fields across the country. This is field corn, not sweet corn. The kernels are firm and starch-rich, ideal for forming the base of a cheese-dusted tortilla chip. It takes about 3 to 4 months for corn to mature. When the ears hit the right dryness, harvest kicks off from mid-August to mid-October, fast and decisive, like a race against the weather. Ever wonder how millions of kernels keep their quality when they have to be harvested in just a few short days? Combine harvesters charge down the rows, steel cutter bars slicing at a preset height to reduce loss. Inside, the threshing rotor and sieve separate the kernels, keeping them intact and minimizing damage. A modern machine can handle up to 140 tons a day, millions of kernels in just a few hours. Right there in the field, the corn is moved into holding bins, then emptied into specialized trucks. The journey to the plant begins. Before the corn enters the plant, it goes through thorough pre-cleaning at the supplier. Everything is dumped onto industrial vibrating screens to shake off dust, stones, and sand, then routed into drying chambers to stabilize condition. Once the parameters are locked, the corn is sealed and shipped straight to the nacho plant. There, it's moved into storage silos. This plant has 4 large silos, each holding roughly 200,000 pounds, about 90 metric tons. Welcome to the Central Zone, where corn becomes the masa base for Doritos. From the storage silos, corn is pulled through a network of steel arteries, dropping straight into the first critical step, cleaning. Here, it passes over vibrating screens to remove dust, stones, and sand, ensuring a clean feedstock. Next comes a high-intensity water wash to scrub away stubborn residues. Once spotless, the kernels enter a scouring drum to loosen the pericarp outer hull and for size grading, rejecting kernels that are too small, too large, or already broken. Why so meticulous? So the corn cooks evenly and yields a fine masa from the start. The heart of the process is nixtamalization, cooking the corn near boiling in food-grade lime water, calcium hydroxide, with constant agitation. Heat and motion soften the structure. The mild alkalinity loosens the hull, boosts water absorption, improves flavor, and makes niacin more bioavailable. At industrial scale, each batch uses several hundred to several thousand pounds of corn with a matching volume of water and approximately 1 to 2% lime by corn weight. Temperatures are typically around 200 degrees Fahrenheit / 93 degrees Celsius for a brief cook, followed by hours of soaking so moisture reaches the core. Exact figures vary by plant and corn variety. The post-soak target is approximately 45% kernel moisture before grinding. When the tank is drained, a film of residue floats to the top, the outer hulls shed during cooking. The batch is then dewatered, run through pressure washers to remove any remaining hull fragments, and spot-checked, clean, tender, uniform kernels at spec moisture. From here, the corn stream heads to a modern mill to be ground into masa. From the cleaning area, the kernels slide down a feed hopper and meet a screw conveyor that meters them into a pair of corundum grinding stones. 2 counter-rotating discs spin at about 720 revolutions per minute, pressing, tearing, and rolling continuously to turn the nixtamalized kernels into masa, a fine, pliable, uniform corn dough. There's a little blending hack most people miss. Plants often mix in about 20% white corn, which is more pliable, with yellow corn to boost cohesion and yield a smoother surface when sheeting. Water is added in controlled drips based on moisture sensors to keep the consistency on spec. Once in spec, the masa is extruded through a narrow slit into a thin sheet, then fed through metal roll stacks to form a continuous band with stable thickness. And here comes the Doritos moment. A die roller drops and punches the masa sheet into perfectly even triangles. Clean edges, no tears, no burrs. Trim and scrap are routed back to a recirculating mixer to be reworked, cutting waste and keeping the material flow steady. At peak cadence, the line can produce approximately 500,000 pieces per minute, over 30 million pieces every 24 hours. Leaving the cutting station, the masa triangles enter a 3-deck tunnel oven. This isn't a home oven. Inside, counterflowing hot air at about 640 degrees Fahrenheit sets the surface in just a few seconds. The goal isn't to fully bake, but to texture the exterior. As steam in the core expands, it leaves tiny bubbles, the very fingerprint that makes Doritos crisp yet airy. Stay too long and the chips dry out. Exit too soon and the starch matrix collapses. That's why dwell time and moisture are kept within a tight golden window. Out of the oven, the chips ride a slow cooling conveyor to ease the temperature down, locking the starch network before the fryer. And here's where the sizzle turns into that signature crunch. Roughly 3,000 liters of canola oil are held at 360 degrees Fahrenheit, and the fry takes just 55 seconds. Remaining moisture flashes into microbubbles, creating a fine honeycomb, crisp yet light. Finally, a mesh conveyor lifts the chips from the oil. A vibrating de-oiler knocks off excess, returning it to the tank in a closed loop. Filtration, minimal aeration, and temperature control slow oxidation. Free fatty acids and oil color are monitored continuously to preserve a fresh taste. At this stage, the golden triangles roll into the seasoning drum, the flavor studio where Doritos gets its signature identity. From large sacks, the secret seasoning blend is fed through a hopper, a rich cheddar base, a savory hit of Parmesan, plus distinct spice notes for depth. Inside, the drum turns at a carefully calculated cadence. It doesn't just mix, it cushions, reducing collisions and breakage as hundreds of thousands of chips dance together. Thanks to the ideal tilt, paddles, and rotation speed, each chip gets an even coat. No clumping, no heavy patches. The result is a smooth, firmly adhering cheese jacket that delivers a burst of flavor from the very first bite. Leaving the drum, Doritos travel along a cooling conveyor roughly 100 feet long. This gives the chips time to cool completely. Before they reach the foil bag, Doritos must clear the final gate, quality control. Each batch is randomly sampled and sent to the QC lab, where imaging systems check the seasoning coverage on the chip's surface. The cheese coating must be even, well-adhered, and streak-free. If it's out of spec, the batch is immediately flagged and the seasoning drum is adjusted. The final leg, packaging, where every triangle's crunch gets sealed in. From the conveyor, Doritos pour into a distribution hopper that feeds multiple form-fill seal machines running in parallel. At the top of each machine sits a 14-head multi-head weigher. Instead of weighing once, it combines buckets to find the closest total to the target weight, fast and precise. When the math engine picks the combo, the discharge gate opens and Doritos drop through a chute into the bag-making section. Below, a multi-layer film, thin aluminum/plastic, wraps around a forming collar. The vertical seam is sealed, then the bottom is sealed, creating an open tube ready to receive chips. The moment Doritos fall in, nitrogen, N2, is injected to push out oxygen, preventing staleness and rancidity while creating a cushion that protects against breakage. Heated jaws then seal the top, and a cutter separates each pouch. Clean, flat, airtight seals. Inline quality checks continue. A check weigher rejects under-overweight bags, a metal detector ensures safety, and random leak tests keep the in-bag gas pressure consistent. Large sizes typically hold about 100 chips. In-spec bags are packed 8 per case, tape-sealed, batch-coated, then palletized by robots and sent to storage. One last riddle for you. How many corn kernels go into one bag of Doritos? Drop your guess below. If you enjoyed this journey, Like, share, and subscribe so we can dive into more mesmerizing processes next time.